Geronimo Stilton, the Karate Mouse. Dear mouse friends, welcome to the world of Geronimo Stilton, the Rodents Gazette editorial staff. Geronimo Stilton, the Karate Mouse. Hi Geronimo. It was a nice, quiet spring morning. The sun was shining, and the birds were singing. I woke up feeling cheerful. I decided to treat myself to a nice, relaxing bubble bath. So I grabbed my favorite bath gel, Mr. Cheddar, and hopped right into the tub. Oh, excuse me. Here I am telling you my personal habits, and I haven't even introduced myself. My name is Stilton, Geronimo Stilton. I am the publisher of the Rodents Gazette, the most famous newspaper on Mouse Island. As I was saying, I was in the tub enjoying some marvelously cheese-scented bubble bath. I was right in the middle of shampooing my fur when the phone rang. I sighed. Wasn't this supposed to be a nice, quiet day? I tried to climb out of the tub, but I couldn't see a thing. I had soap all over my eyes, but the phone kept ringing and ringing. I put down my paw on the edge of the tub, flipped, and dived headfirst into the sink. The soap made the sink so slippery, I slid out and smashed against the bathroom door. Ouch! My snout was completely squished. Wasn't this supposed to be a nice, quiet day? I answered the phone with one paw and rubbed my bruised snout with the other. Hello, Geronimo Stilton here, or at least what's left of me. Hi, Geronimo. This is Hyena, Bruce Hyena. Are you ready? I can't hear you, I asked. Are you ready? Oh no, not Bruce Hyena. Do you remember him? He's a devoted sports mouse. He likes all kinds of athletic activity, especially extreme sports. As you know, I am more of a book mouse than a sports mouse, but that doesn't stop Bruce from dragging me around his adventures. Wasn't this supposed to be a nice quiet day? That depends on what you mean by ready, I replied cautiously. Ready for what? Bruce just laughed. Didn't Shorty Tire warn me about what? I stammered. Bruce started squeaking so fast I could hardly keep up. Personal profile. Name, Shorty Tire. Who she is? By day, she is managing editor of the Rodents Gazette. On weekends and at night, she is a karate world champion. She keeps trying to convince me to publish a karate handbook. Interesting facts. She's Bruce Hyena's cousin. She's as tough as a rock, but melts like butter at the mention of her little brother, Baby Tail. Favorite sports: karate and triathlons. Annoying habits. She likes to pinch rodents to wake them up. In my case, she uses her pinch to stop me from panicking. Believes in friendship, truth, and strength of character. Her passion to do everything enthusiastically. Her motto, laugh, laugh, laugh. Her secret, Shorty Tire takes life lightly. She likes to tell jokes to cheer everybody up. That's bad. Really bad, he said. So what you're telling me is you're not in shape. You haven't trained. Your muscles are as squishy as string cheese. Well, too bad for you, cheesehead. I'll pick you up tomorrow 5 a.m. sharp. You better be waiting outside your mouse hole. Leave everything to me. Wait until you discover the fun adventure that's in store for you. I cried out in panic. I can't go on a new adventure. I don't want to go, Bruce. But he had already hung up. I was gonna. I was doomed. I was dead meat. I couldn't let Bruce and Shorty drag me off on another adventure. Wasn't this supposed to be a nice quiet day? A nightmarish night. That night, I didn't sleep a wink. I was panic-stricken at the thought of Bruce's adventure. What had he gotten me into this time? My head was spinning with terrifying ideas. Maybe Bruce was going to whisk me off to Borneo, where it is 100 degrees. I can't stand heat and humidity. Maybe he was going to drag me to the North Pole, where it's 50 degrees below zero. I just hate the freezing cold. Maybe Bruce was going to take me on a safari deep in the Sahara Desert. I absolutely cannot stand getting a sunburn. I was so worried I couldn't fall asleep. So I got up and fixed myself a nice cup of hot cheddar. Maybe that would relax me. I sipped one cup, but nothing happened. I was still wide awake. I drank another cup, nothing. I drowned a third cup, nothing. So I had a fourth, then a fifth. Finally, I began to feel a little tingling in my paws. After the 12th cup, I was dead asleep. Snore. Unfortunately, by then it was 4:45 a.m. 5 minutes later, my alarm clock went off. Ring, ring. My head felt as heavy as a block of bread. Slowly, I dragged myself out of the door. Bruce was waiting for me. I forgot to do something. Hey there, cheesehead. You ready? Huh? I can't hear you. I asked, are you ready? Before I could squeak, Bruce cut me off. Oh, I get it. You're not saying anything because you feel guilty about not being in shape. Well, no worries. I thought of everything. Looky here. I brought a couple of exercise charts. I opened my mouth again, but I could hardly get a squeak in edgewise. What? Bruce cried. Aren't you the least bit thankful? From now on, I will be CPT. CPT? I asked nervously. Cheesehead's personal trainer. I felt awful. I was so tired. I could hardly talk or walk. But Bruce didn't seem to notice. He just yanked me into his jeep. I didn't have the strength to ask where we were headed. Okay, Cheesehead, tell me the truth. So you're so excited about going. You can't find the words to thank me, right? Bruce said. I nodded wordlessly. We started off, but after a couple of feet, Bruce stopped abruptly. Well, what's wrong? I stammered. We have to make a quick stop at my office. I forgot to do something very important. Did you forget to turn off the water faucet? I asked. No, it's something really important. Did you forget to turn off the gas? No, it's really important. I got it. You forgot to turn on the burglar alarm. No, Bruce sighed. I forgot to do my 10 times 10. If you want to be a well-toned muscle mouse like me, you have to stick to a routine, Cheesehead. So we went into his office, and Bruce did an entire series of 10 times 10. That means lifting a 200-pound barbells 100 times. As for me, I took a little wrap nap. I needed all the rest I could get. Snore, snore. Shorty Tayo is the trainer. After he finished his exercises, Bruce and I went to pick up Shorty Tayo. She was wearing a tracksuit and carrying a duffel bag that was bigger than she was. How could such a tiny mouse be so strong? Bruce winked at me. Hey, Cheesehead, isn't my cousin in great shape? Ever since we were mouselings, our motto's been Shorty Tile the trainer and Bruce Hyena the champion. Shorty is the trainer? Did that mean they were training me for something? But what? I had a bad feeling about this. Bruce gave my tail an affectionate tug. You're lucky to know us, Cheesehead. As soon as Shorty hopped into the Jeep, Bruce gave her the thumbs up sign. Why? What were they going to do? I was afraid to find out. We zoomed away. About 10 minutes later, we arrived at the airport. Bruce and Shorty went to check in by themselves. They kept whispering to each other. Ever so often one would glance over and wink at me. But why? Why? My whiskers were knotted in worry. When it was time to go to the boarding gate, they blindfolded me. But why? Oh why? My tail was tingling with dread and anticipation. Only after we'd boarded the plane and Bruce strapped me into my seat did they remove the blindfold. Click, your belt is buckled. You can't escape now, Bruce chuckled. But don't worry. As usual, your old friend Bruce has everything taken care of. That's why I'm CPT. Then he turned to Shorty. They continued their secret powwow. While I tried unsuccessfully to relax, I caught a couple of words. Squeak, squeak, organized. Squeak training? So they were going to train me for something. But what? Squeak, did you sign him up? Sign me up for what? I didn't like the sound of that. Above Squeak, do you think he'll make it? Make it? Make what? Where were they taking me? I had to do something. After a long flight, we landed. Hey, Cheesehead, we're here, exclaimed Bruce. Are you hungry? I could eat a cat. Why don't we get a gigantic pizza? Good idea, right? Food was the last thing on my mind. Where was I? Where had they taken me? A feeling of uneasiness began to settle in my stomach. The uneasiness quickly turned into gnawing worry. Then the gnawing worry became outright anxiety, and finally the moment came to panic. That was it. I had it. Nothing was going to move me from that airplane seat. I clung to it with both paws. I couldn't move a muscle. Bruce and Shorty tried everything they could to convince me to get up. Oh, come on, Geronimo, Shorty cajoled me. Don't make a cheesecake out of a cheese crumb. You'll see, it's no big deal. Bruce shook his snout sadly. I expected better from you, champ. Look around. Everyone's staring at you. Where did you leave your pride, huh? In New Mouse City, I shouted. Bruce was right. Everyone was staring at me. And I couldn't blame them. It wasn't every day you saw Geronimo Stilton, a best-selling author and publisher, act like such a nincompoop. But there was nothing I could do. It was bigger than me. Have you ever panicked? Trust me, it's a horrid feeling. You can't control yourself. You're not in charge. It's weird. Pinch. Suddenly I felt a sharp pain on my neck. Ouch! What was that? That was Shorty Tayo's famous pinch. I'm sorry, Geronimo, he said earnestly. I had to do something to help you snap out of it. So I pinched you. Don't you feel better now? I took a deep breath. I guess so. Thank you, Shorty. I'm a little bit better. but before I could finish squeaking, I fainted. The Karate World Championship? Geronimo, are you okay? I could hear Shorty squeak. It sounded as if she were far, far away. I shook my snout, trying to wake up. Where am I? You're in San Francisco, she answered. Bruce and I brought you here. I slowly opened my eyes. First, I saw Shorty, then Bruce. He gave me the okay sign. Smiling stupidly, I returned it. Suddenly, Shorty's words sank in. I sat up. Wait a second. What am I doing in San Francisco? Shorty looked at Bruce, who shrugged. Geronimo, it's time we told you. She said you're here to enter a tournament. In a week, you will compete in the Karate World Championships that will be held in San Francisco. I'll be entering too. You have 7 days to learn all there is about karate. I stared at her dumbfounded. What do you think? She asked me. I didn't know what to say, so I fainted again. But I'm a total klutzy. When I finally came to it, I was in a hotel. I'd been out so long, I completely missed the trip from the airport. Oh, good. You're awake again, Shorty said cheerfully. Okay, get yourself cleaned up. We'll meet in the lobby in half an hour. And then we'll head over to the dojo. Your first round of intense training is about to begin. With that, Shorty opened her huge duffel backpack and moved a tiny backpack. She poured it to me. Here's everything you'll need. That's your federation badge, your belt, and your gi. That's the white karate uniform. As we scampered to our room, Bruce put his paw around me. So Cheesehead, what do you have to say for yourself? Aren't you excited about the surprise we gave you? I mean, think about it. This is probably your only chance to compete in a Karate World Championships. Aren't you a tiny bit grateful? How can I be grateful? I protested. Bruce, you know me, I'm a total klutzy. He slapped me on my back so hard, I almost toppled over. Champ, let's do it. For Shorty Tile, get washed, then we'll begin your training. Reluctantly, I did as he said. What choice did I have? I was trapped thousands of miles from home with 2 fitness fanatics. Oh why did I have such crazy friends? Half an hour later, the 3 of us met in the hotel lobby. Then we hopped on the bus to the dojo for my first training session. I'm really more of a book mouse. Once we arrived at the dojo, I scurried into the locker room and got changed. I was doing fine until I tried putting on my gi. I had no idea how to tie my belt, which was a little humiliating. Luckily, Shorty Tayo came to my rescue. We went out onto the tatami, which were the rubber mats covering the floor, and we began to get warmed up. Bruce was sitting in the bleachers. Go, Cheesehead, go, he shouted. Remember, you need to concentrate. Focus. You can do it. Now get out there and show us your stuff. I was so embarrassed. I should have been used to it, but I wasn't. You see, when you're with Bruce, you're always the center of attention. And that's hard for a quiet, shy book mouse like me. Shorty introduced me to a world-famous sensei, Mouse Trio Yamamouse, Are you the new martial arts athlete? Sensei Yamamouse asked. That's strange. You don't look very tough. Well, I am really more of a book mouse, Sensei, I began. Who said you could interrupt me? Sensei Yamamouse snapped. If that happens again, you will be jumping rope for 30 minutes. I gulped. Unlike me, this rodent was very tough. Now, as I was squeaking before, I was so rudely interrupted. You don't look very tough, but I trust Shorty Tayo. If she says you're ready, then you're ready. We began the training. I kept my eyes glued on Shorty and tried to imitate her movements. She was really excellent. Every move she made was fluid and graceful. She didn't look like she was doing karate. It looked more like dancing. Geronimo, you can't wear glasses when you're training, yo, Sensei Yamamouse. Well, I'm such a book mouse that I really need glasses to see, Sensei. Who said you could interrupt me? Sensei Yamamouse said. If that happens again, you'll climb the rope 50 times. We continued training for 4 solid hours. Sensei Yamamouse spat out one command after the other. We tried to execute them faithfully. After 2 hours, I raised my paw and asked if I could have a drink of water. Who said you could interrupt me? And who said you could drink during a lesson? Don't you know it's forbidden? Now, drop and do 100 push-ups. No, make it 200. That will make you stronger. I did as he said. What choice do I have to? I was too terrified to disobey. When I finished, I felt like a dead mouse. A very serious knot. The next morning, I was sound asleep. My body ached from the tip of my snout to the tail. I need to rest, but Shorty Tayo had other plans. Geronimo, get up, she squeaked. You have an appointment with the massage mouse. I fumbled for my glasses, but it's 5 o'clock in the morning. You're right, and you're already late, she replied. We will have breakfast at 7, and then we will head back to the dojo. Now, are you getting up yourself or should I pinch you? In 3 seconds flat, I was showered and ready to go. Good for you, Geronimo, said Shorty. Now go to room 217. The massage mouse is waiting for you. I was a little apprehensive, but it was a massage. How bad could it be? So I went to room 217. A massive mouse dressed in white opened the door. You must be Geronimo, he said curtly. I'm Hans Musseltoner. Please lie down on the table. I lay down, but I wasn't at all relaxed. Holy cheese! How could I relax when a mouse the size of a truck was about to crunch my bones? Hans took some oil from a little bottle and rubbed it all over his paws. Then he began to massage my back. Geronimo, your muscles are very tense, he said. I have to dig my paw into them. I guess if you really have to, I replied nervously. He was hurting me a little bit, but I must say, I was beginning to feel better. There's a very serious knot, he said. I have to dig my elbow into it. Well, all right, if you really have to. Hans planted his elbow between my ribs. It hurt a little more than the paws, but It did seem to be helping. After a while, he stopped. There's a note that's very, very serious, he said. This one we'll treat differently. Okay, I responded calmly. What do you mean, differently? Trust me, Han said. Before I knew what was happening, he had climbed on to my table. He began walking up and down my back. Take a deep breath, he instructed me. Then he stomped his heel onto my shoulder. Ouch! I shrieked. Done, Hans cried triumphantly. How do you feel? I want to go to the hospital, I shrieked. Karate equals respect. Training was very hard. Sensei Yamamouse was very strict with me. But soon, with the help from him and Shorty Taro, I started to improve. First of all, I felt a lot more in shape. My muscles didn't ache as much. And my ability to concentrate had changed. I discovered that karate has a lot more to do with the head than the muscles. I had learned quite a bit of kata, a series of punches and kicks in the air against an imaginary opponent. Kata really helped me to try combinations of moves, steps, and turns. In addition, Shorty was teaching me a lot about the spirit and philosophy of karate. Many might think karate is a violent martial art, but it is not. Karate teaches us to control ourselves and to respect our opponents. It also teaches us loyalty and truth. I was puzzled. Really? Respect, loyalty, and truth? I asked. I don't understand. Shorty nodded. Think of it this way. Imagine yourself in front of an opponent. What's the first thing you do? Well, that was an easy question. I get scared, I answered. Shorty started laughing. No, Geronimo. The first thing you do is bow. That bow shows your respect and gratitude. It says this match will help me learn and grow, and I'll help you learn and grow too. Karate teaches kindness and respect. On the tatami, everyone is him or herself. Shorty continued, there is no cheating in karate. Everyone appears as he or she is. You can't hide your flaws. Karate encourages us to be sincere and honest. Shorty was right. There was much more to karate than I realized at first. The art of karate, yes, karate is a true art, was really beginning to grow on me. Shorty looked at me gravely. Geronimo, karate is the perfect sport for a brainy mouse like you. It brings together the heart, the head, and the body. Think about what you've learned today. We repeat philosophy of karate when we kneel and bid farewell at the end of every training session. We call this the rules of Dojo-kan. I'll help you. The day I dreaded was finally here. It was the night before the tournament. I expected to be incredibly nervous, and I was. But I was also incredibly excited. Of course, I had done everything I could to prepare. I had learned enough to advance to a green belt, and I also perfected a top secret move. After dinner, Shorty knocked on my door. Here, Geronimo, this is your number, she told me as she handed me a piece of paper. Put it on the back of your gi jacket. You have to sew it on. I didn't know how to tell Shorty this, but I didn't know how to sew. The rest of the team from Mouse Island Alright, everyone held a ski jacket and a number on his or her paw. They all had the same embarrassed looks on their snouts. Shorty took one look to understand them and immediately understood. Okay, rodents, I have a needle and enough thread for everyone. I will help you. Then Shorty called her two best friends from the team, Daniela and Mika, who came in with reinforcements. The next thing I knew, my room was transformed into a sewing factory. Everyone pulled together to get the number sewed on. Working together helped us feel more like a team and began in such good company. Helped me forget my nerves. Breakfast of champions. I couldn't eat anything for breakfast. I was way too nervous. As for Shorty, Daniela, and Miyaga, they ate a huge breakfast. I don't know how they did it. My stomach was in knots. Even an expert salesman couldn't unite. Bruce scampered over to our table and slapped me on the back so hard I almost fell out of my chair. Hey Geronimo, he said. You look terrible. Is it nerves? I know what a scary mouse you can be. Bruce knew me too well. I was terrified about performing my karate move in front of the whole team, plus a judge and our audience. But did he have to bring it up in front of my teammates? Psst, please lower your squeak, I pleaded him. Don't feel embarrassed, she said. Bruce practically shouted. Everyone gets paralyzed by fear sometimes. I mean, I don't, of course, but the average book mouse like you is a different story. Now everyone was looking at me. Oh, why did Bruce have such a loud squeak? Fortunately, Daniela and Miyaga were giving me their kindest smiles. Shyly, I smiled back at them. Shorty took my paw. Don't listen to him, Geronimo, she whispered. I have faith in you. At 7 o'clock on the dot, the bus came to pick us up. Half an hour later, we pulled up at the San Francisco's biggest sports arena. The whole team scurried into the locker room to get changed. Something about putting on my gi made the reality of what was going to happen sink in. My tail was trembling, my heart was beating like crazy. My mouth was dry and my paws were drenched with sweat. On top of everything else, my eyes started to bulge. I hardly looked like a mouse anymore. I looked like a fish who just discovered that he's on the menu for dinner. Holy cheese, what was happening to me? Suddenly, I wasn't able to move a step. I had a panic attack, sheer fear, and was completely paralyzed. Shorty scampered over to me. Okay, Geronimo, she said confidently. It's time to go out to the tatami. I couldn't answer. Didn't you hear me, Geronimo? She asked. Move those paws. I couldn't answer. I just sat straight ahead like a zombie. Geronimo, I'm telling you for the last time, either move or I'll. She grabbed my neck and, oh no, she had given me her dreaded pinch. Her method did the trick. The pain was so overwhelming. I snapped right out of it. The kokoro. The stands that surrounded the tatami were packed. I don't think I've ever seen so many rodents in one place. Not even at the Bruce Rutzin concert my sister Thea dragged me into last year. The place was buzzing with excitement. Athletes from all over the world filled up the tatami. Everyone was busy warming up. As I looked around in awe, Shorty Tayo came up behind me. Instinctively, I stepped away from her. I wasn't about to risk another pinch. Relax, Geronimo, she squeaked reassuringly. I can tell you're really nervous. That's normal. Everyone gets nervous before their first tournament. Of course I'm nervous, I cried. I'm afraid of getting hurt. Shorty looked at me closely. There was a shrewd expression on her snout. Geronimo, is that the only thing bothering you? Actually, now that she mentioned it, there was something else. I hadn't thought about it too much. Well, I was afraid to think about it. But I was absolutely terrified of failing. I didn't want to disappoint Shorty, Bruce, Sensei Yamamouse, and the entire team. Everyone was counting on me. I felt an enormous weight of this responsibility. Failing my teammates was without a doubt my biggest fear. That and possibly that I'd need a reconstructive surgery when I got back home. You're right, Shorty, I admitted. There is something else. I'm afraid I'll be a huge disappointment to all of you. Shorty smiled and gave me a hug. Geronimo, it's natural to have butterflies in your stomach. This is your first competition, and it's a world championship. But you've got to relax. Try and control your emotions. Visualize the meet, the tummy, the lights, the public, and what you'll feel when you've met your opponent. Then when it's your turn, there won't be any surprises. I smiled at her. I was lucky to have such a good friend by my side. Her advice was excellent. And Geronimo, this is the most important thing. Shorty paused. Remember to fight with your heart, the kokoro, as the Japanese say. Kokoro, I repeated. What a beautiful word. If you do fight with your heart and with true strength and courage, everything will go smoothly. Shorty continued. The secret to always do your best. That's the only way you can meet every difficulty with confidence. There is an old Japanese saying, I think about it before every match. Karate is not about winning. It's about not losing. Thank you, Shorty, I said, giving her a big hug. I already felt a lot better. Her words had given me courage. First, I'll try visualizing the competition. Then I would concentrate on my heart, my kokoro. And that's the end of this video. We will be reading the rest of this story in the next video. Hope you enjoyed it.